Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Tacoimposters for Sunday, February 22nd, 2026. So I was thinking about all the old years, and I asked ChatGPT, right? I said, "Hey, what's the best year ever?" And they gave me 2019 for some reason. Okay, I was like, "Okay, sure," cuz that was right before COVID and right before things that that eh, things that just the bad times of the for like 2.5 years or so, or a year and a half or so. No, about 2.5 years or 2 years, year and a half. I don't know. Anyway, all I'm saying is like it was one of the best um year of my life with like 2016, 2018, somewhere around there, where I was just like, whoa, this is amazing. And I remember, and I was telling the AI about all my stuff I did, and I stopped and I reminisced about like 2016, 2017, 2018, and I just remember like 2016 and all the weird stuff we did in 2016. Like, I went to a summer camp in 2016, 17, and 18. Well, I worked there for 5 years, so 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It's technically 6 years. But I just remember, like, the things we did in, like, 16. Like, remember hoverboards? Remember how hoverboards were just kind of a kind of crap thing? They're not a really good, and no, not at all. They're not a very good, mode of transportation, like, at all. I asked somebody once who was very into like electric vehicles, electric, not like cars per se or like motorcycles, but like electric vehicles, like electric um electric what are those things called? Electric you know like hoverboards and like one wheels and like unicycle like self balancing unicycles and stuff like that. And so I was like, how many? No, not how many. Like how much? What do you recommend? I was thinking of something like a what's it called? Hoverboard. And he was like, no, hoverboards are not going to get you any far. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, no. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. They were never made for like off road, never made for going far. And then, okay, so I said that one time. This was about like a year and a half ago, I want to say. Maybe it was like last year even. No, it had to be 2 years ago because of that a certain place that doesn't exist anymore now. Okay. Or at least not in the same form as it was before. And so I remember that. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I went on with my life, right? And then I got a message from him and he says, you want um, an electric bike? And I went, how much? He goes, I remember you wanted one. I'll just give it to you. You can have it. I'm like, no way. That is redonkulous. You're not telling me that you're giving me a bike. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, sure. Why not? So I took it for free. He gave it to me for free. He showed me how to use it. He said it's old. He said there's a little bit of bugs and learning curve, and it's not the perfect. It is definitely not perfect. But I thought to myself, look, if you're giving me a free bike, electric bike, which is worth like thousands of dollars, oh, I'll take it. Yeah. I told my friend who also is friends with this guy, and he's like, wow, why for free? I went, I have absolutely no idea, but I'm not going to question it. Don't question it, or else, poo-poo will hit the fan, and then, it'll all go downhill. Anyway, all I'm saying is that I was just thinking of, like, hoverboards and how big they were, and, like, segways and stuff. Because I was just watching a Nathan Espinosa short. Whoopsies. Sorry, I'm, shuffling a deck of cards. Yeah, Nathan Espinosa video of those like Segway I don't know if that was Segway specifically the one he was doing, but it was like those weird like hoverboard like that split apart that are electric, weird things that were kind of strange. I don't know if I would ever use them. I was given a few of these weird like contraptions that I never really used as a kid, but I had them. There's like these they look like kind of like rollerblades that only have the back part to them. Is it rollerblades or roller skates? The ones that you put your shoe into. Yeah, on the heel. Those were very strange. My godmother gave them to me. She gave me a lot of weird things. Things that were educational, things that were entertaining, things that were like activities like what do you call them? What are they called? Oh my gosh, what's it called? What's it called? things that were like transportation stuff. Because she used to go on vacation, different places, did cruises and whatnot, and she used to bring back a bunch of like random things that were very, very strange. They weren't terrible, but they were just kind of strange. I remember, uh, uh, her bringing back a few things here and there, and I just like, what is this stuff? Never really used any of them. I remember, and I just kind of, who cares? And I put them away in a box and never touched them ever again, and pulled them out every so often, and I was like, this is hard to use, this is not fun, this isn't educational and kind of boring and kind of whatever, and I never really used it. My brother used this one where it was basically, you could like draw, you had a little like pad of some kind, like an iPad like thing, and I remember you could draw like your like layout of your whatever floor plan, right? And then you put two things to make like a what's that thing called? Oh my gosh. A security thing where if it broke the laser beams, it would make like a sound, and so we would know if an intruder was coming. I don't know why we did this. We never had intruders. I don't know. You know what was very popular in the early 2000s for some reason? Spy toys. There are videos by, what the heck is his name now? By Billiam. I don't need this. Billiam, right? Let's go to YouTube and look for, actually not this one. Where is it now? Yes. Let me find it. Let me find it. Let me find it. Let me find it. Billiam. There's a whole bunch of videos about like the weird early 2000s toys, spice stuff. That guy's obsessed with like early 2000s toys, video games, and like TV shows. One of them is called the absolute worst 2000s era toys. He's got so many like toys and stuff of that era. He talks about the Facebook games that are terrible. He talks about when Lost became TV's greatest... No, greatest what? TV's greatest mess. Like, if you go to, like, playlists, I'm sure he has, like, a... well, let me look. He has, like, the... TV channel deep dives. Nope. Not that. Lost Perspective. No. Billiam. Once Upon a Time reviews. Maybe. No. Once Upon a Time was a review thing. No. What is it called? Long videos. Ben 10. Long learning and junk. No, I want the toys. We had Scooby-Doo and toys. Anyway, all I'm saying is he's one of the guys who did a lot of that like stuff where we talk about he talked about like all the toys of the early 2000s, man. But anyway, all I'm saying is the transportation stuff in like 2016. I don't know how we got onto that, but I digress, I guess. It's very much like that was a weird era. 2016, 2017, like it's like with the fidget spinners. I was gonna say fidget spinners, yeah, fidget spinners. They're very strange. They're kind of dumb. Like, some people claimed if they had ADHD or ADD, they were like, oh no, it really helped. And other people were like, it was negligible. There's other things that are better. What are those things called? They're called, like, Rubik's Cubes or, like, fidget toys. I think Markiplier, Ethan Nestor, and... oh, fudge. Jacksepticeye all... did videos on like ADHD like toys, like fidgety toys, and they all basically were like, most of them suck. Also, most of them are like baby toys, little like play around hand. I think it was Adam Savage who says baby toys, or who said baby toys and like kids baby toys and dog toys are the same thing. One's just flavored like bacon, like meat. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair enough. definitely. But yeah, so I was remembering all the stuff I did in like 2016, 2017, 2018. Like there's big things that happened. The youth pastor of my church like left, stopped, stepped down. He didn't step down. He was. It's very complicated. I'm not going to get into it, but fired. I'll just say that much. So in 2015, and then in 2016, the new person came in. I'm just going to say nobody liked her, but that's for another time. I don't want to get into all this stuff, but yeah, I mean, and then the new director of the camp was at the same time, and summer camp I worked at, the Christian summer camp I worked at for 7 years, 5 years, 6 years, and yeah, it was a whole bunch of like old, the old what's it called when you have like the old staff, or the old people, the old like setup, and then the new setup came along, and look, I didn't hate either of those two people at first. They just grew to be terrible people. At first, it was like, well, you're a clean slate. I don't know what to do. I don't know who you are for the youth pastor. And then we eventually a lot of people didn't like her. And then the new guy for the camp director, what's it called? General director. He had a weird like split of some people liked him a lot and some people didn't like him at all. But anyway, I digress. I don't want to get into those weird politics and stuff of churches and evangelical Christianity of a very specific West Island and Eastern townships of Quebec politics. No, thank you. All I'm saying is there was like new people came in and there was a bunch of like changes in 2016. And I mean, to be honest, it was different. Don't get me wrong. It was different. I'm not saying it was good or bad. I'm saying it's just different. Was it something that I liked? I liked the guy beforehand. I was scared of the general director before this guy, that guy in 2016. Like scared out of my butt scared shatless, like scared poo poo scared shitless, because he was very much a drill sergeant, he ran it like a military operation. Like this is like drill sergeant. It's done this way. Like it's very very like no. This is how we're going to run it. Oh, wow, okay. And the other guy was just aloof and lax, and people would do something, and he'd be like, what? I don't care. What the hell? Okay, anyway. And I liked the previous, what's that guy? Youth pastor. He was great. All I'm saying is, those years were very strange for me. So, like, they were new, lots of new people, new environments, new setups, new this, new that. And me and my friends and my brother and people like that were all like, oh, what's this weird new everything? By the end of 2016, we were like, I don't know about these people. And by like summer of 2017, we were like, oh no. Or by like the middle of July, like the second or third week of July, we were like, we don't like either of these people. Because we worked at the camp that summer, and holy moly. Anyway, all I'm saying is, those were very weird years with new people in them. And I'm not saying they were bad. I'm just saying that they were weird and different and new and they weren't the best. They weren't the worst. I was telling the AI about the pranks I pulled and about the things I had to clean and the things I had to do. And yeah, I don't think they were the best years of my life, but they were the best summers because it just gave me so much fun. I just had so much fun. The other thing I was thinking about was the Olympics and how the last time Canada came together at the Olympics was in 2010 when it was in Vancouver. And there's a video of, I think it's called I Believe in the Power That, or I Believe, I think, something like that. And man, did it bring everybody together. Man, it brought the whole country together. I remember watching the gold ceremony at my cousin's house in Ottawa. And man, did we celebrate. It was so good. I watched that final gold, the goal that Sidney Crosby, Sid the Kid, he scored the goal. We all cheered. It was amazing. What was I going to say? Oh, God. I don't remember. Yeah, it was good. Brought us together. Yeah. I believe or whatever. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Oh, dang. Oh, well. Yeah. So it brought us all together in 2010. Oh, what was I saying 2010 for? That was a good year, I guess? I don't know. I don't remember exactly why. 2016, 15, 14, 13, 12. I think my favorite year of youth group was which was September to December of 2012. There's something about it that made all those games that we played and all the things, all the nights we had were so much fun. Like, we had one that was like Clue in the Dark, and wow, was it the best. It was set up really well. I loved, there was one guy, Mr. Green, he'd walk in and he'd be like, he had this really grandiose entrance. Like, oh man, it was so much fun. That was so good. And then the other guy, okay, I knew one of the guys who I'm still pretty good friends with now. And I remember he would just stand there in the room with his hands like that thing that you get when you're doing like when you're doing the what is that thing called? Reporter thing where you're a newscaster where their hands are like, you know, tip of the hands together, and it's like he would say nothing and he would just go like this. And then he'd say some like line. He'd like whistle like a bird and then say a line. And then that was it. And we'd be like, because we had to figure out who did it, who done it, where, when, with what weapon. You know Clue. Just Clue in the dark in real life. So good. So good. So much fun that year. I remember that year was the greatest. That reminds me of my friend who never went. Okay, I was watching a JJ something or other. What was his name? I'm sure he's got a big... Let's look him up. JJ McCullen. I think it was called JJ McCullen video about like, because he does a lot of Canadian stuff, right? And his whole thing is like, he made a video once. That's not sorry. He made a video once about how, where he was like, the Canadians we don't really like. They're just kind of famous somehow. Right? He just kind of like, there's just a like, they're just Canadians. They're just famous. We don't really like them. We don't really not like them. They're kind of weird. Some people love them. Some people don't. And one of the guys was Rick Mercer, and I went, yeah. You know why Rick Mercer's weird? Rick Mercer is a very strange Canadian because he's like the taxi cash cab guy, Adam something or other. Some people like him, some people don't. The thing with Rick Mercer is he had a show. So he started on This Hour is 22 Minutes, and then he got his own spin-off show on CBC, right? They're both on CBC. So his show was the Rick Mercer Report, and his whole thing was like, he went out to do something, and then he would, you know, show something in Canada. It'd be great. You know, chips factory, or he would go with Mike Holmes and put solar panels on your roof, or whoa, that was weird, my voice, on your roof, or something like that, right? And it was fine, it was good stuff. It was when he'd come back to the studio, or he'd make a joke, because he made that point in the video of in JJ's video. He made the point of like, you really gotta understand the very bizarre like political humor. And it's not even a political, like, it's not just political humor where, oh, you have to know it like, oh, Americans, where, oh yeah, Americans would understand it, right? But then also it's not just that. It's weird, specific Canadian political humor. It makes, like, no sense meaning. If you don't understand it, if you don't understand Canadian, very, very, very specific Canadian political humor, you will not understand the show at all. Like, it's very good if you like watching what, you know, when he goes and does something somewhere, like, kind of like how, if you ever watched Daniel Book or Emily Cook, those were two kids who did the same kind of thing, where they would go somewhere and do some fun thing. Like, we'd learn about it. It'd be a cool thing. I realized recently, too, that I also realized that I had at least, where I was in Quebec, a lot of weird, random, very specific TV shows that were very specifically Canadian and very specifically, like, in a specific area, like, oh, Ontario, and, like, for a specific thing. And they went and did some specific thing. I don't know if Daniel Book and Emily Cook were, but there was the other one show that I used to get called, So Weird, I think it was called. So Weird. TV show. It was So Weird. The TV show, So Weird. What? No, not this TV show. It was like, I know the theme song went, it was like, so weird, na 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 na. It was like, so weird, right? right? And then there was another show called like In Real In REAAO Life. That's not Life TV show. It was a yeah. But I love that show. That show is wacky, very strange. I never hated the show, but I never loved it either. In Real Life opening. Let me listen to it quickly. It had a weird thing where it had a wrench where you could like give a wrench. I don't remember what it was, but man, was it weird. Very strange. I watched the first 2 seasons, and then when I went to the 3rd season, I was like, this is kind of garbage. No offense. I just didn't follow it at the 3rd season. I was like, what is going on? This is nonsense. No, it's so weird. Womp, 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 womp. So weird. Na 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 na. So weird. Yeah, I don't know. It was called So Weird. I know it was. I followed the first 2 seasons. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. I remember what. Yeah, what was that kid's name? Go back to that guy, Ben. You're not seeing this, but man, did that bring back flooding memories of nostalgia of watching the show. I remember being like, no, I'm gonna watch every episode when it's out because I was about 10 years late for PVRs. For whatever reason, my family never had a PVR until like 2016, when the hype of PVRs was like, oh yeah. It was around, but it was kind of just like, whatever. Like, what I mean by that is like, it had already passed the novelty of the DVR or PVR. So I didn't record any of this stuff. I mean, I guess I could have if I had like a, what's that thing called? Like a DVD player connected to a VHS player, but I didn't. Therefore, I remember just being like, oh my gosh, this is so bizarrely bizarre. I remember that. Oh yeah, what was her name? Samantha. I remember her very well. Yeah. I don't particularly care for the show much anymore, but man, was it great. I know it was so weird. It was like a YTV TV show called like So. That's So Weird. That's what it's called. Let me see if that comes up. That was a weird show. Dang it. Go back one and find it. That's so weird. Let me see if I can find it. The theme song to That's So Weird. Yeah! That was the most bizarre. That was one of the most bizarre shows I'd ever watched in my life. That and Ripping Friends. I remember for like the briefest moment, I watched something called Ripping Friends. The weirdest. The absolute weirdest show I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's so weird. Like, they remind me of So Hard. Like, right. Dang you. I want to do it. No. I need to go and take the speed of it. Playback speed. Make it real dang slow. One guy looks kind of like, what's his name? Like John from, John from, he's Asian, but he looks like John from, LTT, or LMG. He used to do, Tech Wiki. Anyway, all I'm saying is, yeah, bizarre show. Very bizarre show. And a very, like, specifically, very specifically Canadian. I don't know if this show is explicitly Canadian. Anyway, all I'm saying is, I don't know if it's specifically Canadian, but man. Yeah, Canadian sketch comedy television show. But man, we have a lot of random Canadian, like. Also, you have to also understand that we have a really different, bizarre, like, humor up in Canada here. We have it's not that bad. It's different, but I'm saying, you end like Rick Mercer. You'll end up doing weird, like, political things that I don't understand even to this day. Because it's all, like, the other problem is, you watch them back now, and they're all, like, between, let me look up. Wikipedia. Wikipedia.org. Rick Mercer report. I guess you read that joke. Yeah, when did it run from? 2004. Rick Mercer report was 2004 to like what? Like 2004 to 2018. There you go. Yeah, yeah. And so with that, it was very much a like very like specific. Again, you have to really know the random humor of 2004 to 2018. I mean, the random political jokes that he make, and I would be like, he'll make a joke, and I'll be like, haha. And then when I understand that, I'm like, I understand that joke, haha. I never thought it was the most hilarious thing, but because what's that guy's name again? It's like a. I'm trying to look for a political scandals. I remember one specific one. What was it called? List of political scandals in Canada. No, it's like somewhere around here. Yeah, in 2010s, I think, or like somewhere around here. In Afghanistan, denied issue. No, what was his name? There's some guy who. Oh yeah, the FA-18s. Yeah, that was a big thing in like what 2012, 2010, something like that. Anyway, 2011, 13, something like that. It was like in the early 2000s, like 2000 and... What was it called? It was like... It was some guy. There was a specific guy who got... Like... He tried to do something... He did. He tried to do something. He definitely tried to do... No... No, it was very, very specific guy, and I mean very specific. It was like 2012 maybe, and it was some very big scandalous guy. What was it called? Maybe I'll ask the AI. Let's see if he remembers. Okay, Google. What was the name of the guy, the Canadian politician? Something about his like vacation home, and it got like he was like reimbursed for something that wasn't supposed to be reimbursed for. Somewhere in the 2000s or 2010s. That's the one, Mike Duffy. What did he say?
The former senator was embroiled in a high-profile scandal involving roughly $90,000 in housing and travel claims. The controversy centered on him claiming his primary residence was in Prince Edward Island to collect living expenses for his longtime home in Ottawa. Would you like more details on the 2016 court ruling?
No. That's all I want to know. So, like, that was one that I understood. I was like, oh, yeah, that funny joke. Or that like... And I would chuckle. I didn't laugh. I would chuckle. I would kind of like chuckle. I'd be like, funny. Like kind of like a, But again, you have to really understand the like very bizarre Canadian political jokes that Rick Mercer would he make. He makes some very, very specific Canadian political. So it gets like even more specific. It's like political, Canadian, and then of the times of like 2004 to 2018. So if you're watching them back now, you're like, what the heck are these jokes? So we had weird Canadian skits too that were made, like SCTVs and stuff like that too. And Second City. Oh no, that's Second City. Never mind. With the people of the Canadian up there in Canada. Hey to Canada, eh? And I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say a sentence that is 100% Canadian, and you will not understand a word I'm saying. Maybe you'll understand a few little words here and there, but it's more like, okay. Well, hey there, bud. Want to watch some hacky? We'll go get some Timmy's. Go get a double and some Timbits. Go get a 2-4. And we'll wear our bunny hug and our toque sitting on a Chesterfield. I'm telling you, you don't know what much that means. So yeah. They're also like, what was the thing with trying to completely copy like SNL? It was like a big thing. SNL was like popular, And then we all wanted to copy SNL for some reason. For kids. For some reason it was for kids. SNL for kids. Why? Beats me. I have no freaking clue why. They wanted like a clean kids version, I guess. I don't know. Without the politics and without and it was very much a because it was things like what's it called? It was That's So Weird. And then So Random was another one. That was the Disney version. That was like a sketch comedy show. And then there's the Amanda Show. Then there was a bunch of like others. There was about a half a dozen that were kids SNL basically. And it was weird to me. The one thing I remember from the show was Pizza Pants. Pizza Pants was weird. I remember that. Joey Lucius? Yeah, I love that guy. That guy looks a little bit like John from LMG. So. Yeah. That's like one of those lost media things. Let me look up That's So Weird on Internet Archives. See if it comes up. If I can find any episodes. First I'll look up YouTube. Ooh, there's a few here and there. Yay, man. I'm going to save them to watch laters and watch laters and watch laters. Pizza Pants! Pizza Pants, 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 Pizza Pants. Yeah. Yeah. Man, okay, I'm not gonna watch the whole thing. It's like 2 minutes long, two minutes and 1 second. But man, but that like, found some of the good stuff. Anyway, all that to say was, I was saying that because I was saying how he liked Rick Mercer and he wanted to watch Rick Mercer, so he was in the cadets for like one, I don't know if you call it season one semester, I guess you would call it, and he was in the cadets for one semester, and the semester was, so it was on a Tuesday night when they would show Rick Mercer. And he was like, oh, I missed Rick Mercer. So he watched the reruns on Friday night. So I remember the youth pastor going, so let me get this straight. You would rather stay home and watch Rick Mercer than come to youth group? And he's like, yeah, 100%. And I was like, I was also baffled. I was like, he was baffled. He was like, why? That's so stupid. And I was like, or he didn't say it was stupid, but he basically had this attitude of like, but that's so dumb. You okay, go freaking schmuck. Whoa, sorry, loud. So I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm just saying he liked it so much. I'm like, oh my good lord. Good golly, Miss Molly, sweet mother of molasses. No offense, but I didn't know what he was thinking. Hey, he wanted to do it. More power to you, I guess. Then in 2013 to 2016 is when he actually came to youth group. So, like every week. He wasn't there every single day, but he was definitely there, or every single week, every single week, but he was definitely there quite frequently. And I remember it being pretty good. Like, and so. Yeah. Oh my god, that's insane. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. We did lots of youth group. Anyway, all I'm just saying is like we had weird people we don't really like or we don't know what to think about for a lot of them too. Anyway. The other thing I just saw here was a video called Folsom Prison by Johnny Cash. Folsom Prison Beasts, I think it's called, by Johnny Cash, right? And it's a cover by Rhett McLaughlin on Good Mythical Morning, the Good Mythical Morning, not the Rhett and Link channel, the Good Mythical Morning channel, right? Oh, sorry. Yeah, and the point is that's not the point. The point is not the video itself. I just saw the year when it came out, and it was like 15 years ago, and I went, oh my god, can you believe Can you believe? 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 Can you believe that YouTube is 21 years old? 21. And the other funny thing, okay, the other funny one is when what's their names? Red Cow Arcade does their podcast, right? They do the Red Cow Entertainment or podcast, whatever it is, Red Cow Podcast, and they're talking about what's his name, James Ralph, and just how he's a guy who, and I agree with them. I'm 100% with them. He's a he's like our heroes, right? We like late millennials, early Gen Zs were like very much. He was our like hero. He was our like inspiration. He was our anyway. Yeah, like I'm looking at one now. Avian intro remix, or like which is a picture of the one's Hong Kong 97, which is funny sec, but the other one is what's that thing called? Is the Pong consoles. He did so many cool things that, and then it just in about 2016, 2017, he sold part of his channel to Screenwave Media, and the slobs came along in 2018, and everybody hated them. But they're saying they stopped the video and they go, well, first I'm saying that just because of the time and how long it was and how many years it was. Like, oh my gosh, it was like 10, 15, 20 years. Okay, but that he was been on YouTube. But the other thing I'm saying is, like, what happened to that guy? He makes everything harder than it needs to be for if you go watch his behind the scenes video, right? But also, like, what happened? Apparently, Kieran, the previous editor who quit, got fired, left, was laid off. Anyway, was politely asked to leave. I don't remember what happened, but he said, "Oh no, we tried to make good content and they just didn't want it." And he was like, no, I went to James and Mike and all that stuff. And like, yeah, no, I did. Yeah, definitely, 100%. And he explained the whole thing, and he was like, they just didn't want to hear it out, none of it. I was like, oh my gosh, really? Is that bad? And he goes, oh. He was like saying on a live stream once, he was like, yeah, no, or 2 live streams. Like, no, yep, it was definitely just as bad. Right? And I was like, really? And he was, I was thinking to myself, really? And he was like, yeah, it was terrible. They didn't want anything to do with me. But anyway, I'm like, wow. It's weird. They call them slobs, or the like minions, right? Do all my dirty work for me, right? And I was just like, why though? What's the point? I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's weird. It was not good. It was very much not what anybody wanted. Because they make the same point that because I made the same observation. I made the same observation where, for a long time, he just would bring random people in. He'd bring another random person in, and another random person in, and another random person in. Some friends, and some whatevers, and other people, and people they hired, and people they didn't hire, and friends they had, and all that stuff, right? And so for me, I was like, cool. Right? I was like, whatever. I never thought too much of it, right? I never thought too much of it. Because there was a show called something to the effect of, like, Overexplained or something. Or, like, the show where they were like, what's going on with Batman? And where does Batman's Cinemassacre Bat Cave. Let me see what, like, Batathon. No, the thing that they did where it was like, not beta. Thinking fifth dimensionally at Branson Cave. No. Let me look up Batman. It was like a weird thing. I don't know if it's even still on YouTube. It might be in like a Lost Media. What's that thing called? Lost Media. Oh, wow. Oh, fudge. Lost Media channel, but definitely definitely like, oh my gosh, what's it called? Okay, that's a good video. His cameras he did. Anyway, I'm saying like they brought a bunch of random people in, and it was very much not jarring when these people came in. I'm like, oh, they're just random people, right? And then somebody said to one of them on the podcast, one of their friends said, no, 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 no. Right? Where they're like, oh, no, 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 these are just the new guys they hired. Like, who? Not they're just buddies, they're friends, they're pals. It's like, oh, no, 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 no. It's like, what are you talking about? And it was like, yeah, no, these are like the weird buddies they made. They hired some new guys. What? Why? And we're like, I don't freaking know. Garbage in my opinion. I'm like, yeah, freaking stupid shit. All I'm saying is, and with that, like, weird. And they brought him in, and it was garbage after. I mean, because the problem was that the problem was that the problem was that what are they just talking about? Oh my gosh, what the heck is I? Oh yeah, the problem was that like they made him try and do some stuff that he was not really good for, like just not at all. He was not good at it at all. I'm sorry, he was just not good at all. Not at all. He's trying to be this guy, trying to. He tried to do a lot of what's it called too? What's it called? Fudge, man. Where he tried to do a bunch of yeah. Tried to do a bunch of like unscripted stuff and it was just garbage. Like it was just garbage, like just bad. Just yeah, no. So I'm not saying it's good or bad. Right? Right? So I don't know what happened with the guy. Right? I'm not saying it's good or bad. All I'm saying is it's kind of oof. It was like wow, okay, anyway. All I'm saying is it's not very good. Right? It's just weird, I don't know. I'm looking for so yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking of in like the past. So like he's a weird guy where like he lost it. He lost the plot. He lost the plot long ago and just ugh. He lost the plot a long time ago. So over what? Okay, when was that? 2022. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. 22. Yeah, it was. Oh, 22, 23. Yeah, okay. Look. All I'm saying is he lost the plot a long time ago. Sorry, I just was like zoning out. He lost the plot a long time ago, and I think he's gone, and I don't think he'll ever come back the right way. But what are you gonna do, right? No offense, but what are you gonna do? Right? So anyway, all I'm saying is, anyway, I think it's gonna be it for now, guys. So if you want to get in contact with me, there's the email tacoimposters@gmail.com. That's tacoimposters@gmail.com. There's the two discords. If you want to give financially, there's the patreon.com/wingwong. That's patreon.com/wingwong. There's also things like the music if you want to buy my music or stream my music. There's also what is it called? There's also if you want to get my services for 360 virtual tours. I think it's going to be it for now, guys. So, adios, mi amigos. Bye bye. Goodbye.